Hi, I'm Dr. Anthony Edwards, and I'm your instructor for ELHE 5300 Higher Education History. So, to show you a little bit about the course and what it looks like. So, this is what it looks like in Canvas. You have start here, it'll take you to the orientation module. You can also click that here. You can also click any of the weeks and go straight to that week's information. Here's a little information about me, how to address me when we have office hours, how to get in touch with me. Again, I prefer the Canvas inbox. So if Canvas is down, you can email me at this address and it'll go to Canvas. A little information about me. I've worked in higher education for a number of years now, and my focus has been predominantly in kind of a sector that integrates both academic and student affairs. So had a wide range of experiences, and look forward to sharing with you this semester. Again, it's an online class, so you need to make sure you have a place to do your work online. You have the technology you need to do the information you need for the class. All right. In terms of getting information, again, you can click here and go to the orientation. All right, so you got your week 0 information. So, you've got the course overview video, which you're watching now, right? And here's a link to the syllabus. You'll acknowledge the syllabus, take a brief survey, gives me a little more information about you so I can help you better. Then you'll also choose a project group and a research topic. So you'll do that in 2 places. So you'll click here and then enter in the group that you're wanting to be in, but you'll also go click here at the people tab, and you'll see an area where it's got a group section, and you'll click that, and then it'll list the groups, and you'll kind of have to manually put yourself in the group as well. So make sure you do that in both places. Okay. So for week 1 and week 0 and week 1 are kind of the same week. So I just wanted to separate the orientation pieces of it. Each week I put together a module roadmap. So you can kind of see this information on essentially a sheet of paper. Again, you got your readings for the first week, which is the first chapter of our e-textbook. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But again, you've got your pre-course statement of understanding that's due the first week by Sunday evening. Typically, the assignments are going to be due Sunday evenings. So just tells me for the pre-course statement of understanding kind of what you know already about higher ed history. All right. And then you have a week 1 networking discussion post. Okay. And typically you do the comments by Friday. You do the post by Friday and the comments are due by Sunday. And then you've got your chapter 1. Essentially, that's your chapter 1 assignment where you'll talk, write about your comments from chapter 1. So also there's a group expectations discussion. All right, so you'll have that. And the group expectations is just when you get into that group, you're setting the expectations for how you'll interact with each other throughout the course of the semester. All right. And you kind of go through again, the same format, learning activities, action items. So in week 2, you'll have your become a higher education history expert assignment, where you'll research a topic with your group. You'll break it down into kind of maybe 4 or 5 sections, and each of you will handle a different section and put it in your discussion. All right, you'll also have to select your date and time for the presentations. And all right, let's see, week 3. So you have a Q&A kind of about your become an expert assignment. So you can ask questions about it. And then you have your city training, which is a research process. So getting your city training done. So if you've done this in other courses and your documents have not expired, you can submit those again. But it's just showing me that you've completed those. So it helps you to learn more about research. A lot of you said you want to learn more about research. And so there's some courses that you'll have to take about investigations involving human subjects, which is what we generally do in education. And you'll submit those. Okay. All right. Week 4. So, and I'll take a step back. So the first week is really pre-colonial era. Week 2 deals with 1790 to 1869. Week 3 deals with 1870 to 1944. Week 4 deals with 1945 to 1975. Week 5 deals with 1976 to 1993. And 1994 to 2009 in week 6. Okay. So you'll have going through those different periods. So back to week 4, you'll do a higher education history interview. All right. And you've also, all right. Now you've also got your observation assignment, which I believe will move into week 3. Okay. And we've got your, again, like I said, your interview assignment. All right. So let's see. So, excuse me, your observation is week 3, excuse me. And so you're going to essentially observe someone in higher ed, related to higher ed history. So in the history context, you can be a little more creative. So, but we're essentially doing an observation related to higher education history. And you'll ask questions essentially about your history or your interview assignment in week 3, or in week 4, excuse me. In week 5, you'll be conducting the actual interview and writing about it. Week 6, you'll have a webinar or chat related to higher ed history. All right. And week 7, you have your course feedback, your post-course statement of understanding, your higher ed history expert group presentation and paper, and your higher ed history final exam. So you'll essentially do a symposium where you talk about your projects on the Tuesday and Thursday of this particular week. And then you'll turn in the actual paper. Your group leader will turn in the paper and presentation on that Friday. The final exam will open on the Friday and it'll close on Sunday evening. So that's generally how the course flows. Let's go into the syllabus. Again, we've been through some of this already in terms of communication. The course description is an overview of the global history of higher education and the development of higher education system in the U.S. All right. And textbook, online text here, Cohen and Kisker, 2010, Shaping of American Higher Education, Emergence and Growth of the Contemporary System, 2nd edition. There's the link. Okay. So again, you're not under any obligation to purchase a textbook from a university-affiliated bookstore. The same textbook can also be available from an independent retailer like an online retailer. And you're welcome to purchase the textbook from an independent or online retailer if you prefer a physical copy of the textbook, okay? But I'm not requiring you to do that. Knowledge outcomes. You'll gain a historical perspective on the history of higher education in the U.S. and around the world. Mostly in the U.S., but there's some comparison to other countries, particularly England, in terms of the higher education system and how it evolved from the English system to what we have in the U.S. All right. Skill outcomes. Describe historical trends in higher education and connect higher education history to current practice. So here's your breakdown. You got your discussion board assignments, your pre-course statement of understanding, your post-course statement of understanding. You have your group projects. So you have your higher education history research assignment, your higher education history observation assignment, your higher education interview assignment or history interview assignment, your webinar, and your expert area group presentation. All right. And then you've got your final examination. Okay. Normal grading scale. An online class, you just basically, you'll be getting feedback on your participation, by making sure attendance is basically logging in regularly, submitting your assignments, participating in group discussions. Okay. So late work policy, late work will receive a 20% deduction on every subsequent day the assignment's late. For example, if a 50% or 50-point assignment's due on Wednesday and the student turns in the assignment on Thursday, student can potentially earn 40 points. So you got a 20 percentage point deduction. So this is the breakdown again. You've seen that in Canvas, but it kind of breaks down the different assignments that are due each week. Okay. So you've got it in both places. All right. Obviously, this is a second 8-week course, so we've got a little bit of a break in between the Thanksgiving holiday. So you have a week that ends November 19th, picks back up again on the 27th. Okay. All right. Okay, so you got your holidays here. No classes on the 22nd, Thanksgiving, 23rd to 25th. So you got your grade related, dates here. All right. Commencement and final exam. Here's some learning resources to help you with writing. Okay, sometimes some of you ask me about that. So here's some links to some different writing help, particularly with APA format. I'm big on APA format with this being a grad class. Shouldn't be anything that is intended to scare you. It shouldn't scare you at all. Just make sure you're citing and referencing and you're attributing whatever ideas come from other people, and that you cite and reference, cite and reference, cite and reference. More references are better. Okay. So, and really try your best to use articles. Obviously, there'll be some websites that make sense. But I really want you to get used to getting into the databases and finding articles. University is using, so we've got the global search now, and we're also using ProQuest. And so, that you can use those resources in order to find articles that you needed that are related to higher education history. As far as students with disabilities, if you require accommodations, there's some information there about how to let me know that you are requesting accommodations. So there's some processes and procedures that our Office of Accessibility resources can assist you with. So academic integrity, make sure your work is your work and not someone else's work, right? Don't plagiarize. Civility, we have a lot of group discussions in the class. Make sure you're respectful of your classmates. And I try to give examples of how to do that effectively. So you can say, have you considered this? On the other hand, have you considered this? Here's another way another perspective on this is that, so those are things to think about. So academic excellence. So make sure you do your best work, right? Do your best work. All right. So also just kind of want to give you a heads up in terms of artificial intelligence. So it's a bigger thing these days. So make sure that you are, when you're writing, it's your writing. It's our Turnitin can detect writing by AI. And so, Grammarly is one of those popular tools, and now has some AI features in there to recommend ways to rewrite your work. My encouragement is to you not to use that because our Turnitin will detect it as AI, and it can be considered an academic dishonesty issue. I realize that as higher education leaders, there's some applications for using AI in higher ed, and there may be some opportunities for us to have some of those conversations in some of our classes. But as far as you turning in an assignment, it needs to be your writing. So, and I just want to make sure that we put that out there. So, all right. Well, if you have any questions, reach out to me in Canvas, but look forward to learning with you this semester. Bye.